Well, it's that time of the week again where we get to dive into brand new VR games that came out this week, games coming out next week, and of course some of that juicy VR gaming news. But before we dive into that, I want to say a massive thank you to you guys and girls for supporting this channel. We are on the road to 50k, so if you could smash that subscribe button if you're new, I massively appreciate it. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, then hit that like button too. Without further ado though, let's dive into brand new VR games that came out this week. New VR games this week. To kick this all off, we start with Stabby. Stabby is a brand new game coming to the Quest platform. This is a multiplayer or solo game where you can jump in there and, well, become the ultimate parkour assassin, stabbing your friends or stabbing the victims, which is a really weird sentence to say, but this game is all, of course, about the stabby because it's all in the name. This actually is a really cool game. I jumped in there and tried it out for myself. The parkour element of this feels freaking fantastic. It's handled in a great way, and on top of that, all of the mechanics of the game just really work nicely. If you're looking for something to get into with a bunch of friends, I really recommend this as it's an absolute barrel of laughs. And on top of that, you also really have a fun game when it comes to the solo side of things as well, as you have a bunch of little missions to complete. So definitely one to pick up if you're looking for a game like this. Next up, we have Into the Radius 2. Now, I made a full video on this, which will pop up somewhere on screen now if you want to go check that out. Do it at the end of this video though, of course. But nonetheless, Into the Radius 2 hit early access on PCVR this week. Now, sadly, there is no news on the Quest version of this game. It's still, I believe, being considered, but it's not confirmed as in like a date that is coming or anything like that. Of course, we really need to get through the early access phase with the PCVR first, and then Quest and maybe PSVR 2 later down the line. Other than that though, let's report on the game itself. Oh my god, it's so freaking good. Personally for me, this is exactly the kind of thing I've been waiting for. I cannot wait for the weekend to come around just so that I can jump back into this game and enjoy it for myself again. Now, like I say, there is a full video on this, so I'm not going to go too in depth, but just know that the monsters are great, the feel of the game is great, the new environments, the new look to everything is just top freaking tier. This is great gaming. If you want something to get into over the weekend, I highly recommend you pick this up on PCVR. It runs on pretty minimal rigs as well as sort of like high-end rigs, so definitely check out the minimum specs just to make sure that you're going to hit that. Other than that, if you've got a Quest 2, Quest 3 or a PCVR headset, this is the time to jump in over the weekend and absolutely lose yourself into this game. Highly recommend. Go check out the video if you want to learn a little bit more. Last up for new releases this week is Attack on Titan that finally dropped. This is an early access title as well, but only available on Quest, and well, this one was one of those ones where it was kind of controversial. People were expecting this game to look like absolute crap because honestly the trailer for this just didn't do it justice. Now, I will say there's a few caveats when I talk about this game. First of all, there is not much content in here. It's going to keep you busy for a couple of hours, realistically. Now, the price tag for this is quite low, it's like $4.99, but that doesn't really still justify it because if you're spending the money on something, you want the investment back. Personally, I feel like the movement mechanics in this game are a little bit lacking. They don't allow you to do like rotationals or flips or anything cool that really makes kind of the fan-made versions of these games really cool. So that's a little bit unfortunate. I found the fighting to be a little bit lackluster, but it is kind of entertaining when you take off a limb or cut them on their neep or nape, whatever they call it, basically the back of the neck. Those things, they do feel satisfying the first few times to do it, but it's kind of shallow in the sense that there's not a lot to do in there. You're kind of doing the same mission over and over and over again, with the only difference being that you're going to get slightly upgraded weapons that you're going to be able to do these things with. Now, like I say, it's not a bad game, but for me, this just didn't quite tick all of the boxes I was looking for in this style of game. So I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. I wouldn't call this a great game, I wouldn't call it a bad game, I'd call this an early access game. They have an opportunity to really do something still with this, so hopefully they're going to listen to the community and they're going to listen to their audience and hopefully improve on some of the stuff that they've got missing. And if they do, this still could be an incredibly cool game. But right now, just know that if you're buying into it, it's kind of shallow and it might get boring after a couple of hours. VR game news. First up is a project close to my heart because I'm personally working on this game, and that is Guardian of Realms. This is a brand new mixed reality game coming from Sin Studio. Now, this is built from the ground up for mixed reality, utilizing everything that makes mixed reality cool, and on top of that, honestly, kind of like defining what is making mixed reality cool within the genre. In this game, you are going to be playing as the Guardian, and you get to live out that power fantasy of hacking, slashing, and absolutely decimating grounded enemies or flying enemies that come in that are called the Beholders. Now, these are some fireball firing dreaded enemies. On top of that, this game gets pretty gruesome, leaning into that power fantasy of things, dismembering people, doing some other crazy stuff. Now, a few of you are probably thinking like, well, when is this game coming out? Well, here's the good news, guys. This game is in testing beta phase right now. You can jump in and play this for free. All you have to do is join the Discord. It is linked down below in the description. I'll also pin it in the top comment. So if you want to go join their Discord, that's all you got to do, and then you can jump in and have access to this game and help them sort of test this out and make sure it's going to be the best game it possibly can. Not only that, but this is a pure passion project from Sin Studio. Like, this is only people who just believe in mixed reality working towards making something incredible, including me. So, you know, it's got that seal of approval, and you know it's going to be good. Next up, Contractor Showdown gets its Season 1 update, bringing a brand new map and vehicles, as well as a bunch of other cool things as well. Honestly, this is very cool. I've jumped there and tried it myself. Driving feels freaking awesome. The new map is super dope, and if you own this game already, well, it's time to jump back in this weekend and get in the battlefield. I'm personally going to be diving in over the weekend. I love this game. I spent way too many hours already playing it. It's kind of become my new Pop 1, where I jump in there and just play and play and play. So get on that battlefield. Highly recommend you check this out. If you haven't picked this game up before, now is definitely a great time to do it, as this game is essentially truly now the Warzone of VR. Next up, Astro Hunters is making its way to PCVR first. Now, this is coming to Quest and some other things later down the line, but for now it's going to hit the PCVR store, i.e. Steam, and it's going to be there for you to play. This is a PvPvE extraction shooter based in space. Not just space, but cool looking planets in space. This is definitely one to keep your eye out for. I have played this myself, a lot of fun. If you're looking forward to playing this, get over there and hit that wish list, because like I say, early next month, you're going to be able to dive in and play this for yourself. Coming up next week. Next week, we are leaning into that brand new start of the month, which means one thing and one thing only. Keep your eyes peeled on the channel, because I'm going to have the brand new games coming up in August list that will be there this weekend. So keep locked in. Good reason to subscribe. But to kick this all off, we have a brand new title dropping next week. One to keep your eyes out on if you like horror games, and that is Hello Cruel World. Hello Cruel World is you as a streamer being stuck in this horrific environment that you're going to have to work your way through. It kind of feels like this puzzly looking game that on top of that, you have the streamer functionality of just chat going the entire time. There's some gruesome moments in there from the trailer as well, where you actually get your hand cut off, which looks pretty terrifying. But nonetheless, this one definitely looks like one to keep your eye on. I really want to try this myself, because it looks like the kind of horror that I actually really enjoy. So I cannot wait to dive in and check this one out for myself. Next up, we got Tomb Explorer VR. This is a very indie looking game, but it kind of caught my eye. It's coming out on PCVR, and it just looks super entertaining to me. I just think I'm gonna have to check this one out. I don't know what it is about it, but like I say, it kind of captivated me and drew me in a little bit. The trailer's kind of interesting, but some of the screenshots are a bit more captivating to me. Nonetheless though, I don't know whether this is going to be one of those games that is a real hidden gem or not, but I'll feed back to you next week once I've had a chance to try it for myself. And last but not least, Gravity League. This looks like a kind of a Sea Smash type looking game, where you're going to be in a tunnel, basically whacking the ball back and forth to each other, but having a bunch of fun with it as well. It's kind of got like a lot of cartoony sort of vibes to it, which kind of I think is going to sort of appeal to a certain type of audience. And of course, on top of that, it just looks like it's going to be kind of fun to get in there and challenge your friends in. So I'm not 100% sure this is the type of game for me, but nonetheless, I do want to talk about it, because I know a bunch of you guys will want to play this. So let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. And that will about do it for this week, guys. A little bit of a quieter week, not like busting super exciting news. I will drop in at the end of this though that the app on Steam for PSVR 2 dropped this week as well. So something to think about, as early next month we're going to finally have the adapter released to be able to use the PSVR 2 on PCVR. So just something to keep in the noggin, because I know that's coming. This is really mostly about gaming, so I don't talk about these things in this video, but I'm just going to give it to you at the end of this. The other thing is we also got a first sneak peek at the Quest 3S, which is a brand new headset coming out from the Meta lineup that's apparently going to be super affordable in order to get more people to upgrade their headset and of course enjoy things like mixed reality. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to find out more about this headset when we get into it. They're just the rumors that I've seen on Twitter, because it is the font of all knowledge. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Smash like, subscribe if you're new. Help me get that 50k, man. We're so close. It's been a while, but we're getting there. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Have a great weekend. Bye.